Hey everybody, it's Rod in Rod's Kitchen today again from Cool Guy Barbecue. And what we're going to do today is we're going to try for the very first time some beef jerky. So I was down at the local grocery store today and they had a special on tri-tips, which I think is going to make a really good jerky. And I want to try and achieve a good thick jerky. So I've got two tri-tips today. Here's the first one. And I got to tell you one thing. You go, what's he doing? He's got a can of beer next to him. This is one of the premium ingredients today. Is going to be IPA beer. So we're going to put that in just a little bit. But anyway, I've got my knife. I've got my cutting board. One of the things when I've been studying cutting meat, it always says to cut with the grain. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but the grain's right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting this into nice big chunks. And once I get done with this one, then I'm going to cut the other one. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put it into a kind of a brine cure type solution overnight, and then we're going to smoke it up tomorrow. Okay, so I'm going to mix up the cure for the beef jerky. And you can see that I've got the jerky all cut up here nice, and I've got I'm guessing I've got about 5 pounds of jerky meat here. So the first thing I'm going to do, into my brining bucket, I'm going to drop some beer. This is some IPA beer, and I went with, I don't know, this stuff from Summit, so we'll try that. Then I've got some brown sugar. Then I've got some garlic powder. Onion powder. That's onion powder. Or like a garlic salt. I've got some curing salt. I've got some Worcester. And I've got some soy sauce. And the final ingredient is some honey. So we're going to put that all into the brining bucket. Then what we're going to do is we're going to mix that up. And we're going to allow the solution to get together, and then I'm going to drop the jerky inside. Stay tuned. Okay, the fun thing about barbecuing and working with recipes is you kind of learn as you go, and I mentioned this is my first time doing this. So when I got the brining bucket all done, there really wasn't that much of a depth to the solution for the jerky. So I switched it to this container, and I'm going to just lather or lay the meat right in at like this in here and get it all into the container and let it sit overnight and now what I'll do periodically throughout the evening is I'll come out and I'll rotate the meat around so that I know that it's all been covered and sitting in the sauce, or the solution, what do you call it, the cure. So then tomorrow what we're going to do is we're going to dry it off, and then we're going to put it out on the smoker and see how we do. But it's looking really kind of like an interesting recipe. I'm kind of excited to see how it turns out. So stay tuned, and tomorrow we'll be getting ready to go out on the smoker. Okay, so it's now morning, and I had this beef jerky sitting in this solution, this brine, overnight, and as you just saw, the juice pretty much, there's hardly anything left in there, has sucked up into the meat. So the next step is to kind of dry it off. So I put these paper towels down on this tray, and I'm going to start laying it on so that the backside dries off. And then what I'll do is I'll come back across the top side, and I'll start drying it all off. So I think I'm going to end up with a couple of nice trays of beef jerky here in a little bit. So stay tuned and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so if you want to just look, I mean, it's amazing. There's not that much juice left so that means that it's all absorbed into the meat right here. And the second thing now I'm going to do after I got the paper towels down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this on top, and I'm going to start absorbing some of the extra juice from the top as well. I'm going to put these on the counter for probably half hour. And then one of the next steps is you're supposed to let it air dry and set up a little bit. So then I'm going to just take the paper towels away. I'll put it on the trays and I'll let it air dry. And I'll come back and I'll show you an idea I have for that here in just a minute. Stay tuned. Okay, so I've been letting the beef jerky sit on the counter under these paper towels, and you can kind of see, just look how much of that oil was or solution has been absorbed off the jerky, and we're trying to dry it out the best we can, and it is looking pretty dry. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on this rack, and the reason I'm doing this is I'm just going to let it air dry now for a while before I put it onto the smoker. And then once I get this all air dried up, what I'm going to come back and do is I'm going to hit it with a rub, and I'll talk about that in just a second, but I want to just get it onto the dryer here for right now, and then we'll keep things moving right along. Okay, so I've got it all on this kind of this rack that I'm going to air dry it on, and now what I'm going to do is I've got this brown sugar bourbon Grill Master seasoning, and I'm going to sprinkle it with that as kind of a rub on the outside. And then what we'll do is we'll just let these sit and air dry. And then as soon as I think they're ready, I've already fired up the smoker this morning. I'm going to go take them, I'm going to put them on the smoker, and we're going to smoke it up. Now, one thing you might notice what I do for easy cleanup on this is I put parchment paper under the metal rack here so that it's much easier to clean up. But I'll do the other side in just a second, but that's what it's going to look like, and we're going to let it air dry like that. Stay tuned. Okay, so I'm out here at the smoker with the beef jerky, and you can see how it just has kind of set up. I had that other black pan before, black tray before, and I put some on this pizza pan with holes in the bottom to let it dry. So we're just going to lay her on the smoker, and the instructions say for 2 hours, and so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go for 2 hours on this and see what it looks like. So I'll be back out in a little while and we'll do a check on it and see how it's looking, probably do a flip, and we'll go from there. Stay tuned. Okay, I'm out here at the smoker, and if you recall, I told you this was the first time I've done beef jerky on the smoker this way, and I'm really getting excited for what I'm accomplishing here today. So come on over and take a look at what's going on inside the smoker. It's just looking awesome, isn't it? And we're trying to get to an internal temperature of 160 degrees, and we're up over 100. It's been cooking for a little over an hour now. So, and I flipped it once, and I'm probably going to flip it again here in a little bit, but in 2 hours time, I'm thinking we're going to have some marvelous beef jerky. Stay tuned. Okay, we've been on for about 2 hours now, and I just so everybody understands, I'm cooking a real slow cook on this today. I set my temp at 165, and that's what I set the grill at to start. And then, because it was going for quite a while, I just kicked it up to 175. So I think a couple pieces are getting close to done. Come on over and let's take a look. And it's kind of cool because we got the smoker smoking away today. Ooh, a little smoke in the eyes. Well, maybe not quite. This piece here is done. That piece is done. That piece is done. That one's close. Okay, so what we'll do is, at the next time you'll see me, we'll have a big tray of jerky in front of us on the kitchen counter, and we'll do a taste test for you. Stay tuned. Okay, I'm off the smoker, and here's the finished product, the beef jerky, and it looks awesome. Looks really, really good. So now is the Rod Tietz moment of truth. Very, very good. If you want to look at the inside, you can see how I've got that nice smoke flavor to it. But I gotta be honest, this tastes like some of the best store-bought jerky I've ever eaten. It's really good. So, if you want to try making beef jerky on the smoker, all you gotta do is do what I did, and then send me an email to rodtietz@gmail.com, and I'll send you the step-by-step directions on what I did on this recipe. I've got some ideas on how I might even be able to amp up my amount of jerky I make on one pass. I think I might add another rack next time, but this is really good. I'm really impressed. First time I've ever done it, and I would say it's a home run for being the first one out of the box. Once again, if you want the recipe, rodtietz@gmail.com, and feel free to share this video with your friends, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.